Hey everybody, Barry with Christenson Transportation. We're the trucker's truck. Safety takes priority. I always am reaching out to our drivers or our office staff or our vendors and say, hey, what's going on? What do we need to work on? What do you see going on out there? What do I need to talk about? What do I need to alert the fleet to that can help us solve issues or potential issues before they happen? And so I had a driver come in the other day, Bruno. Thank you, Bruno. And Bruno and I were talking about a multitude of things, but two things stuck out. One, we have sliding fifth wheels. Now, when we ran 379 Peterbilts with big hoods and had a bunch of problems with wind, pushing the wind. Those things were not aerodynamic, and people used to slide that trailer up on their fifth wheel up and close that gap between the truck and trailer and try to produce less wind resistance. Anymore, it's not that way. These trucks are very aerodynamic. I ride motorcycles a lot, and if I see a bull hauler coming, I held on to those handlebars pretty tightly because that thing comes by and just blows you back, and you understand how much wind that vehicle's pushing. And then I'll have an aerodynamic truck come by and it just goes by. You don't feel anything. So we've come a long way in that regard. So two things that moving that fifth wheel back, and we try to put them on the second hole from the back and leave it there. I wish we'd just weld those things shut, because you're not moving more than 100 pounds on your axles when you're sliding that up. And what we're trying to prevent are two main things. One, wear and tear on the tires. We've got setback axles now, reducing that turning ratio, shortening your wheelbase. But it also makes that trailer ride a little different on your drive tires. So we found that we were getting some irregular wear patterns, and we believe it's got to be with where that fifth wheel was sitting, where that trailer weight was on the tractor. So we moved it back to 2 notches from the rear and left it, and those problems kind of went away. The other thing that we avoid is, I can't tell you how many cab extenders I have bent, and we never had this. And 80% of our fleet has been 80% of our fleet for 20 years. These people have been here a long time, and we didn't bend cab extenders. So the trucks are set up different, the turning's different, the wheelbase, is shortened, the axles are set back, and the trailer has moved closer to the fairing. So keep that thing back, and the closer that trailer is, the less turning radius you have before you bend your fairing. So leave it back. Help us reduce the wear on the tires, and help us reduce the number of cab extenders that we're bending. So thanks again, Bruno, for bringing that up. And I ask everybody, give me stuff. Let it be your idea. Let it be something that you're dealing with out there that can help your fellow drivers. The other thing that we talked about was courtesy, having courtesy to the next driver. So basically, we were talking about weighing loads. You can't put a load of, let's say, rolled paper. You might have 6 rolls of paper on there at 40,000 pounds. I mean, these things are gigantic. There's no way that you know how that load is on there and where exactly that weight is on your truck and trailer if you don't scale your load. When we haul specialized stuff like those rolls of paper, they take a special clamp to get that paper on and get it off. So if we're overweight and we don't weigh the load and we get at a scale somewhere, we are very limited, and it gets very expensive to find some place to move that weight around. So for those of you that are hauling the load, do yourself a favor, but also weigh the loads for the driver. I had one the other day where the driver picked it up and probably went 80 miles and dropped it at a drop yard where we were going to relay the load. The load was overweight. Now we're 80 miles from the shipper. It's hard to go back. the next guy picks it up and has no way to adjust that. If you're at the shipper, we can go right there in there and say, here's my weights, and they'll move it around because they have the equipment to move around. But when we drop stuff for some unexpected driver to get under, and you may be 3 states into it, you may have gotten lucky and got past scales without getting an overweight deal. But the next guy picks it up and says, does his job properly and says, I'm overweight and I can't move this stuff. So, help yourself for one, help your fellow drivers for two, because you do not want to be that second truck to pick that up and have to deal with it. Please be professional and be part of the team. We're a team. Christenson's a small company. We rely on each other. Our brothers in arms, sisters in arms, everybody in arms, but just don't get me up in arms. But weigh your stuff, please. Thanks for watching, and thanks Bruno again, and somebody else sent me something to talk about. So have a great day, and thanks for being at Christenson Transportation, where the truckers truck and safety takes priority.